What do samurai districts, gold leaf ice cream, and one of Japan's top gardens have in common? Yep, Kanazawa. If you're planning a trip there, this is the video you want to watch. Whether you've got 1 day or 3, I'm going to walk you through when to go, how to get there, and exactly what not to miss. And by the end of this video, you'll have a clear plan for your Kanazawa adventure. Let's begin. Welcome back to Tokyo Pass 3. If you haven't met yet, I'm Mizhelle. I'm a long-term resident here in Japan and I work in the travel industry. My mission as a creator is to help people explore this country more meaningfully. And on this channel, I share travel tips, stories, planning advice for exploring Japan beyond the usual tourist trail. Now, I visited Kanazawa in summer last year, and in 4 days, I was able to explore a lot, from famous attractions to little hidden gems I hadn't even heard of before going. And now, I want to help you plan your own trip to this wonderful city. This is going to be a full-on planning guide, so I've added timestamps in the description if you want to skip to the section you need. But if you're starting from scratch and want to know it all, keep watching. Let's zoom out for a second and talk about what kind of place Kanazawa is. Kanazawa is the capital of Ishikawa Prefecture, located on the Sea of Japan side of Honshu. It's a city of contrasts. You've got rich history as a samurai town, but also modern art museums, stylish cafes, and even art installations tucked away in the most unexpected places. Historically, Kanazawa flourished under the Maida clan during the Edo period. Because of that, the city developed a strong cultural identity. Think geisha, traditional crafts like gold leaf, and beautifully maintained gardens and architecture. But unlike Kyoto, it feels more relaxed. It's never too crowded. Best of all, you can really feel the local pride in preserving tradition while embracing the modern. Now, when should you go? Let's break down the seasons because each one offers a totally different Kanazawa experience. Spring is from March to May, and cherry blossom season here is magical, especially at Kenrokuen Garden and along the river banks. It doesn't get as crowded as Tokyo or Kyoto, so you might be able to enjoy the blossoms without fighting for photo spots. Summer is from June to August, and if you know me, it's really not my favorite season in Japan because it gets hot and humid. But summer is also festival season, and in particular, the Hyakumangoku festival in June is one of the biggest, and it celebrates the city's rich samurai history. Expect parades, traditional costumes, and street food galore. Just remember, Japanese summer is no joke, so keep yourself hydrated to prevent heat stroke. Autumn is from September to November, and it's my personal favorite. The weather is comfortable and the skies are clear, and fall colors at Kenrokuen, the castle, and even just random street corners are usually stunning. Winter is from December to February, and Kanazawa is one of the snowiest major cities in Japan. So yes, it snows a lot, and it gives the city this quiet fairy tale atmosphere. Plus, it's also crab season, and that's a big deal here. Locals will tell you that snow crab in Ishikawa is the best in the country, but I'm no crab expert, so don't take my word for it. Now, how long should you stay? If you're in a rush, you can technically do a day trip from Tokyo or Kyoto, but it's gonna be a long day, and honestly, you'll only scratch the surface. Ideally, I'd recommend 2 full days. That gives you enough time to hit the highlights without feeling rushed. If you can swing 3 days, even better. You can slow down, dive deeper, and maybe even take a day trip from Kanazawa. I spent 4 days, and a lot of that honestly was spent on resting in between the places I visited because Japanese summer just beats you down. Keep that in mind. Now let's go to my favorite part, what to see. I'm going to break it down by area to help you plan your route. First up, we have the Kenrokuen Garden and Kanazawa Castle area. This is the heart of Kanazawa and home to many of its biggest attractions. The 2 headliners are Kenrokuen Garden, one of Japan's 3 great gardens, and Kanazawa Castle, which sits just across the road. Kenrokuen is stunning year-round. In spring, you've got cherry blossoms, in autumn, fiery red maples, and in winter, you have the iconic yukitsuri ropes protecting the pine trees from the snow. Even if you're not usually a garden person, Kenrokuen might just change your mind. Next door, Kanazawa Castle offers sprawling grounds, beautiful gates, and reconstructed turrets you can explore. You can walk around the exterior freely or buy a ticket to enter specific areas if you're curious about the architecture. On some days, these areas are actually free, so look out for them. What makes this area so great for first-timers is that it's dense with things to see. Within walking distance, you've also got Oyama Shrine with its unusual stained glass gate, the 21st Century Museum of Contemporary Art, which blends modern creativity with interactive exhibits, and Ishiura Shrine, a small but serene spot tucked behind the museum. You can easily spend a whole day in this area alone, especially if you take your time wandering through the garden, museum, and nearby cafes. It's the perfect starting point to ease into Kanazawa's mix of history, culture, and modernity. Next up is Higashichaya, and if you've seen any photos of Kanazawa online, chances are it was taken here. This is the largest and most famous of Kanazawa's geisha districts, and the streets are beautifully preserved. Think wooden latticed facades, narrow stone paths, and this really nostalgic atmosphere that just makes you slow down a little. Back in the day, this was where geisha would entertain guests with traditional music and dance, and while some tea houses still operate privately, a few have been open for public viewing. Places like Shima Tea House or Kaikaro gives you a glimpse into that world. Beautiful interiors, antique instruments, kimono displays, everything feels like you're just surrounded by art. One thing you'll see a lot around here is gold leaf everything. Kanazawa produces 99% of Japan's gold leaf, and they put it in all sorts of things like ice cream, pastries, even skincare. You'll definitely find gold leaf ice cream in Higashichaya, and it's fun for the novelty, but just so you know, it's not exclusive to this area. You'll also see it at Kanazawa Station and in other neighborhoods. If you're interested in hands-on experiences, some shops also offer gold leaf art workshops where you can decorate hand mirrors or small items with gold leaf. It's relaxing, and I truly loved my time doing it. It makes for a great souvenir that's customized and made by you. Also, slightly tucked away but still walkable from the main district is Utasu Shrine. It's quieter, not as flashy as the other tourist spots, but what's really fun here is that they've hidden life-size ninja dolls all around the shrine grounds. Spotting them one by one is such a cute little side adventure, especially if you're with kids or just like quirky details. And finally, one of my favorite places in this area was a retro cafe called Kingyoan. It's got these soft Taisho era vibes with antique furniture and desserts that are just so pretty to eat. I really loved my time here. I felt like a princess. So while you don't need a full day here, give yourself a good couple of hours or maybe 3. There's just so much to see here, not just the big attractions, but also just the little moments in between. Let's move on to another beloved spot, the Nagamachi Samurai District. Compared to Higashichaya, it's a little bit more low-key, I guess, but there's something about it that just feels really grounded and peaceful. Back in the Edo period, this area was where the samurai who served the Maida clan lived. And even now, the streets still retain that historical feel. Mud walls, stone-paved alleys, and narrow canals running alongside the path. It's not flashy, but it really transports you. It almost feels like the city pressed pause in this little pocket. The big highlight here is Nomurake, a preserved samurai house that's open to the public. It's not very big, but inside you'll find a beautifully maintained interior with tatami rooms, a little tea room, and a small garden that's absolutely stunning. Next, we have Nishichaya District and Ninja-dera area. This area for me is a must, especially if you're even just a little curious about secret rooms, trapdoors, or the more mysterious side of Japanese history. Let's talk about Ninja-dera, officially known as Myoryuji Temple. Now, even though it's nicknamed Ninja Temple, it's not actually connected to ninjas. But once you step inside, you'll see why it got the name. The whole place is filled with clever defensive designs like trapdoors, secret rooms, escape tunnels, you name it. It was built to protect the Maida clan from enemies, and the architecture is just fascinating. The only way to visit is by guided tour, which you'll need to book in advance. And heads up, you're not allowed to take photos or videos inside. But honestly, that's just what makes the experience even more immersive. The guide walks you through all these crazy tricks in the layout, and I was constantly surprised at how clever the design was. If there's one place in Kanazawa that will leave you talking about it for days, this is it. Definitely don't skip it. Now, just a few minutes walk from Ninja-dera is the Nishichaya District. district. It's smaller and quieter than Higashichaya, but it's still really charming. The streets have that same traditional look, and it's a nice spot for a relaxed stroll. There are a couple of interesting museums that I didn't get to enter, but I think are worth checking out, and they're the Ninja Weapons Museum and the Dolls Museum. Finally, let's talk about Omicho Market, because no trip to Kanazawa is complete without diving into the local food scene. And this is where it all starts. Omicho has been around for over 300 years and is often called Kanazawa's Kitchen. It's a covered market packed with over 180 stalls selling fresh seafood, produce, snacks, pickles, you name it. If you're a food lover, this is definitely the place to go. One thing I recommend here is sushi, especially a locally priced fish known as nodoguro. It's white fish that's just so buttery and smooth. It melts in your mouth. I really recommend it. One of the best things about Kanazawa is that it's super walkable. Most of the major attractions are within a 10 to 30 minute walk from each other, so you don't need to rely heavily on public transport. That said, I don't recommend trying to hop on from one end of the city to the other in a single stretch. Instead, try focusing on one area at a time. For example, you could spend your morning exploring the Kenrokuen and Castle area, then head over to Higashichaya in the afternoon. That way, you're not exhausting yourself going back and forth, and you actually get to enjoy the little details in each district. If you want to save your legs a bit, the Kanazawa Loop Bus is super helpful. It's a hop-on, hop-off bus that does a loop around most of the main sightseeing areas. You can buy a day pass either at Kanazawa Station or directly on board, and it's a great spot for hitting the key spots without worrying about transfers. Now, some routes aren't covered by the loop bus, but the regular bus system in Kanazawa is very efficient and easy to use. And good news, you can use your IC cards like Suica or Pasmo, so you don't have to worry about buying separate tickets. And if the weather's nice, biking is also a great option. The streets are fairly flat and rental bikes are available around the city. Just keep in mind that some older areas have narrow streets, so take it slow and always be respectful of pedestrians. Next, what to eat. I'll be making a separate video for food as always, but for now, here are 3 things you have to try while you're in Kanazawa. Number 1 is nodoguro sushi, or black-throat sea perch. It's one of the most prized local fish in Kanazawa. It's rich, buttery, melts in your mouth, especially when it's lightly torched. If you're a sushi lover, this is one to splurge on. It's a little bit more expensive than the other kinds of fish, but it's really good. You can find it in Omicho Market or other restaurants in the city. Number 2 is jibuni. This is local duck stew made with flour-coated slices of duck, vegetables, and sometimes gluten dumplings, all simmered in a soy-based broth. It's deeply warm, savory, and very comforting. Number 3 is gold leaf treats, like I mentioned earlier, and the most popular choice for this is ice cream, but you can also find it in drinks, desserts, pastries, you name your choice. It's a fun, sparkly treat for your taste buds. You'll find most of these, especially the sushi and the snacks, at Omicho Market, but some ryote or mid-range restaurants in the city serve more refined versions too. Next, we have suggested itineraries. If you only have one day to spend in Kanazawa, then I suggest going to Kenrokuen in the morning because it opens up early. And then because I really recommend Ninja-dera, you can go to that area next. You will have to ride a bus to go to the next area, but it's really worth it. And then you can spend your afternoon in Higashichaya and then wrap up your day near Kanazawa Station because there are a lot of izakaya that you can explore there. Now, if you have 2 days, then you can spend more time at each location and add Omicho Market and Nagamachi. Now, if you have 3 days or more, you can add Nishichaya and Kazuemachi to your itinerary, maybe take workshops, go on a day trip to Shirakawa-go, or explore other areas in Ishikawa Prefecture. Speaking of other areas, here are my recommended day trips. Number 1, Shirakawa-go. I have a video about that in my channel. You can go check it out. It's a very beautiful, scenic village with thatch-roofed houses. If you like onsen, then I suggest going to Kaga area, which has the Yamanaka Onsen and Yamashiro Onsen. And finally, we have Toyama, which is beautiful bay views, art museums, and the Alpine route. Now on to extra tips and things to know. Number 1, most places close at around 5 p.m., so plan your sightseeing for the morning and early afternoon. Number 2, bring cash, especially for smaller shops and local eateries, which is true for most of Japan. And number 3, English is limited, but signage at tourist spots is pretty good. And I find that people actually want to practice their English. A lot of places I visited in Japan would talk to me in Japanese first, but in Kanazawa, I found that most people actually approached me in English first, which was quite surprising because I'm quite used to just people talking to me in Japanese here in Tokyo or in the other places I've visited. Alright, that was a lot, but now you're basically a Kanazawa expert. Whether you're into history, art, gardens, or food, Kanazawa delivers in a way that feels peaceful but still full of discovery. It's one of those cities that stays with you long after you leave. If you want to see what my own trip looked like, check out the travel vlog I made from my Kanazawa visit. It's linked below. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss my upcoming video all about Kanazawa's food scene. If you have questions about your itinerary or want personalized tips, leave a comment below and I'll try my best to answer your questions. I love hearing from you guys. This has been Mizhelle for Tokyo Past 3. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!